Naya. Welcome back to Naya Reads Smile. Hey guys, it is sister seasonal over here. Some call me Mother Fall, but you know, I go by many names. Like the beginning of summer and fall are the just two most popular seasons for book releases. I've really had to think about like what I'm gonna dive into first, but I've finally compiled a list of my October TBR slash just like fall reads that I plan on getting to over the next month and a half. And I know some of you guys already know, you know, what books I have been waiting for patiently to come out, and my pre-orders arrived. Okay, so you guys had to know that this was gonna be my first book, right? Dark Dawn by J. Kristoff. You guys, I have been waiting for this book since like whenever I did those videos where I read the first two books back to back and it was like life-shattering. Dark Dawn by J. Kristoff is the last book in the Nevernight series. It's book number 3. You guys, I have like two, do I have 2 or just 1 reading vlog on the first 2 books in this series? Nevernight and God's Grave like destroyed me. I was just like Nevernight and God's Grave were fantastic. This is an adult book series, even though it does look like a young adult series. This book series we're following our main character Mia, who is a badass and like I'm like literally mean, like she's nuts. So she goes to this school and she becomes an assassin, and I know it sounds like your typical assassin story, but like girl, I have read every assassin book. Okay, maybe not everyone, but I've read a lot of assassin books, okay? And nothing has come close to the sheer awesomeness of this series here. Very explicit, very gory. It's probably like the only assassin book I've read where you're actually just like, yo, I actually don't want to be an assassin. Like, you know how you read books, you're like, oh my god, that'd be so cool. Like, you know, have all these like ninja skills, but then you actually realize what these people have to do, and you're just like, nope. Not for me. Like, honest to God, this is the book I'm probably gonna pick up next right after I finish filming this. I'm not ready because in Nevernight, he kind of prophesized what was gonna happen in this one, and I don't accept, I don't approve. The next book on my fall reading list is the Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. You guys know I just finished reading Circe and it was mind-blowing and so good, and I'm still thinking about it. Song of Achilles is Madeline Miller's first book. It came out before Circe, and we're following Achilles in this book. I said this in my previous video when I finished Circe, but I'll say it again because I stand by my word. I want this author to write a book about every god, every demigod, every hero, every monster in the whole Greek pantheon. She writes these stories in a way that makes these gods feel more not human, because obviously they're gods, but they feel more tangible, and you're able to kind of really shape their character and who they are in your head. For anyone who studies Greek mythology, you guys know it can be kind of hard to kind of keep track of the whole history of the interactions between the gods and the wars and all those kind of things, but Madeline writes it in a way that just makes it really easy to follow. Circe is still an underrated god, and I cannot wait to see how she writes Achilles' story, because I know he's kind of like, you know. Next up, I got this book because of you guys, so thank you for everyone who recommended this. If you watched my wrap-up video, you know I just finished reading After Dark by Haruki Murakami, and now I'm just down that whole rabbit hole and I want to read everything he's ever written. That book was so good. Like, After Dark was one of the most unique contemporary books that I've ever read, and it was in a style that had just, it was so like refreshing. Every single one of you guys said I need to read 1Q84, and I went online to order it and I found out there's actually 3 books. It's like a series. I got the collector's edition. Is this the collector's edition? I think it's just like the vintage edition, but this is a bind-up of the first 2 books in 1Q84. Love story, a mystery, a fantasy, a novel of self-discovery, a dystopian. Based off what I know about Haruki so far and his writing style, like his books can honestly go in any direction. He does not follow like a 3-act structure by any means. So yeah, I'm so excited to dive into this one, and I'm kind of just like, I kind of don't want to know too much. Okay, the next book, I am still patiently waiting for my pre-order copy to come in the mail, so I'm gonna have to show a little image here. Wayward Sons by Rainbow Rowell, and I believe it's officially gonna be a series. Carry On is actually a book that our main character in Fangirl writes. It's like a fan fiction kind of based off of something similar to Harry Potter. Basically, it's a spin-off series from Fangirl, and Wayward Sons is the second book, and it was supposed to just be a standalone, but everyone loved Carry On so much, left it kind of open-ended to where she can kind of like pick it up again if she wanted to. Finally, we get a sequel, and it is Wayward Sons, and again, I'm patiently waiting for my copy, and I want to order the collector's edition copy that has like flowers sprayed on the side. I'll probably do Dark Dawn first, and then once Wayward Son comes in the mail, I'll read that one. If you watched my wrap-up video, you know I finally read The Diviners by Libba Bray, and it was fantastic. So I ordered Lair of Dreams, which is the second book, and I just found out there's a third book as well, and a fourth book coming out in that series. Diviners was fantastic. It takes place, or it took place in the 1920s, and there was magic and Ouija boards and demons and spirits, and it was just, it's fantastic. And we're following a group of characters that are coming into their sort of magical power. They're called Diviners. Lair of Dreams is the second book, and immediately after finishing The Diviners, I went and I ordered the second book, and I probably should have just ordered the third one, but I was like, you know what? I've done that thing where I order like an entire series and then just like don't continue reading it, or decide like after the second book I don't like it, but I think I'm gonna like the series. Like, I love the first book. The next book I hauled last month, and it has just been staring at me, and I have to have at least one like sci-fi book on this list. All these books are like fantasy sci-fi. You guys know me already. War Girls by Tochi Onyebuchi. He wrote Beast Made of Night. I read the first two books in that fantasy series. It was fantastic. This book series, I've said it before, but it kind of reminds me, just based off the synopsis, it reminds me of like The 100, but instead of taking place in like North America, it takes place in Nigeria. Yeah, how cool does that sound, right? So in War Girls, we're following two sisters who are surviving in sort of this post-apocalyptic world. Nuclear disaster and climate change has basically made the earth unlivable. Cyborgs now exist, like half human, half robot people. The climate is very radiation heavy, so people have had to figure out how to basically survive on earth, and so they've created different technological advancements. We're following two sisters that are living in a war-torn Nigeria. Both of them dream of having just a long, happy life, and in order to do that, they have to fight in a war. This is a sci-fi book, and the cover is so freaking cool, and I am just, yeah, I love Tochi's work, so I have high hopes for this one as well. Last but not least, a few months back, I read Raven, which is the first book. Is it the first book? I don't know if it's the first one that came out, but it's like one of the first graphic novels in the like Teen Titans graphic novels adaptation thing that DC is doing. This one was by Cami Garcia, and it was fantastic. I loved it. I read it in like an hour. So DC Comics was so kind to send me the other books that are currently out in their like graphic novel series. So Daniel Page actually contacted me personally, was like, hey, do you want to check out Mera? I saw that you read Raven. This first graphic novel here is Mera Tiebreaker, which is the first in the Mera or like Aquaman graphic novel series. I'm so new to like the whole graphic novel world, so I apologize if I'm getting like the terminology wrong. This one follows Mera, and like she's so cool. She kind of reminds me of like Little Mermaid, but like if Little Mermaid was like a superhero, you know? Then I have a Batman Nightwalker by Marie Lu, and I am so excited for this one because I saw a little like artwork excerpts on her Instagram page, I think. And then lastly, I have a Harley Quinn Breaking Glass by Mariko Tamaki. This is so cool, and the artwork in this one looks just amazing, and I'm so excited the most like artwork wise for this one. So that concludes my fall reading list. I'm keeping it relatively short because I know if I set like too high of a goal, that sounds so bad. I know if I like give myself too many books that I will just not get to all of them, and I'm definitely a mood reader, so I kind of want to leave myself room to just pick up things as well, depending on like what I feel like reading. This list is like the main ones that I plan on getting to over the next month. Let me know what your fall reading plans are. What books are you reading? What books would you recommend that I read? You guys know I love spooky stuff. Oh my god, they're making an adaptation of Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Have you guys seen that? I digress, but yes, until next time, keep reading, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye!